right, good evening, everybody. Today is September 11th, 2025, and we're here with Chris tonight, and we're going to talk about Chris's UCC-1 foreclosure payment method. So, just to let you guys know that we now have a course at the website, youhavetheright.com, that goes over this whole process. It's not quite complete, but it's complete enough that if you started it right now, you wouldn't have any problems. If you would, guys, go check that out. I haven't changed over the front page just yet, but probably the next day or so it'll be changed over. But we do have a course on how to do the UCC-1 method that we're going to talk about today. It's an easy-to-follow steps. So, or if you know somebody else, if you know somebody that needs help, send them to the website. So, Chris, welcome.
Yeah, man. Welcome, everybody. We've been working. I've been working with Tad, and he's putting together a process, a multi-page process or chapters, so to speak. One's to get you familiarized with what it is you're doing, to get a better understanding of what it is you're going to try and achieve with this, and then how to do the UCC-1s and how to act, how to hold yourself in the tribunals when you're attempting to go in there and talk with the lawyers and the administrator that's handling the process. Now, some states don't even have foreclosure hearings, and they're not even trying to front like they got an official court, like you're doing something that's legal. They just go ahead and steal it through the mail. Like Tad saying, California's bad for that. And then on the website, this is all getting put together rather quickly, and because not a lot of y'all can sit here and listen to the recordings that we're doing and understand how this is. Some people are auditory learners, some are visual. Some actually have to read to figure this out. So we're trying to catch all the angles that we can do this in, and maybe we can even do some videos for the visual aid type people. But basically what this is, and we've talked about it before, is when a home is, we all know that you're the note that actually generates the credits to buy the house is the contract, and it's the signature that makes the money or creates the money to buy the house. We all know this, but they don't play that way. They want you to think that you owe them money. Okay, so we'll play. I owe you money. Here's how you can get paid. That's what this is about. And the great state of Tennessee, in their vast wisdom, decided to take a document that had no value at all and make it worth whatever you want to say it's worth. This isn't just going to work with foreclosures. It'll actually, the concept is the same for an automobile or a farm or it's the UCC-1. If I wanted to go buy a farm or Arizona John there, wanted to go buy a mine somewhere. He could go to the bank, borrow the money from the bank, and then turn around and have the bank take the UCC-1 that they're going to create on the debt they're claiming is owed to them and pay for it. All thanks to Tennessee. That's it, in a nutshell, y'all. That's how simple this is. The UCC-1s that we created when we did the initial lien securities, the UCC-1s we created wasn't worth anything. But Judge Blackburn ruled that they were. The courts are saying that what we did, we didn't have legal basis to do, but what we did had value. It had value, so we're going to charge them with a Class A felony. And then that went all the way up to the appeals court. Okay, now the appeals court, you get to decide whether or not Blackburn's right at what she's saying. Oh, she is? You agree with her? Okay, well, now this is going to the Tennessee Supreme Court. And you've got 3 out of the 5 justices on the Tennessee Supreme Court saying these UCC-1s that these guys created are worth $250,000 or greater. So we can get them with the Class A felony forgery. Now, we're going back to the appeals court right now. And we're arguing. I'm arguing it. I'm going to argue. The next video you see with the appeals court on YouTube's channel, Tennessee Court, on their page, Tennessee Courts, on the YouTube channel is going to be me. That's if it even goes to oral argument. They may decide to, by our brief, that we're right. The appeals court has actually accepted the contracts from the original record. When I say contracts, I'm saying the conditional acceptance, everybody. That's the actual lien. It's not the UCC-1. UCC-1 is just a notice of a debt. Not anymore. Do y'all understand this? Not anymore. Now, if they decide that we did have legal basis to do what we did, they can turn around and say, yeah, these guys are right. They had legal basis. What Tennessee did was wrong. And matter of fact, the UCC-1 isn't worth anything because they're going to lose the Class A. If they rule in our favor, the state's going to lose the Class A felony against us, which means none of this ever happened. So to do this, y'all, it needs to be done quick. Now, if I'm wrong, if we go all the way through the Tennessee Supreme Court, and they keep saying, "Oh yeah, you guys didn't have legal basis," I don't know how they're going to be able to say that when they've agreed that the contracts are in the record. They've also agreed that my ex-wife filed in bankruptcy, and we did the amendment. We did the amendment to the brief, and in the amendment to the brief, one of the points that we're arguing is that my ex-wife filed the $4 million debt in bankruptcy after she testified she had no debt with me. And the federal courts are saying, yeah, this is a provable debt. We actually put the code in the amendment that I'm about to file it within the next probably 4 or 5 days. I got to get all of this court record, the original court record. It's on about 21 different PDF files because there's a lot. There's 630 pages of just transcripts. So when that happens, this might go away. The best time to get into this is to do it now. If they continue to rule, well, then this is going to be something that's going to be commonplace. The only way I can see them continuing to rule the way that they're ruling is if they already are well established that these UCC-1s are. Because think about this, y'all. Say these Supreme Court justices said, hey, man, they go to their banker friends and they say, hey, man, we just ruled that these UCC-1s now have value, Mr. Banker Friend guy. Now you can take the UCC-1s you have on all the debts from all the lenders in your bank, take the UCC-1s and go get paid with them. And that's feasible too. They may keep kicking our case down the road. I may very well do 20 years before this is settled. It's 2036 is when this whole thing is supposed to be over with. My 20-year sentence. But Gary got 50 years. Of course, he'll probably be dead. He's 81, going on 82 years old now, and refusing parole. Gary's refused 5 different parole hearings because I can't go and ask for parole when I'm claiming I was never convicted. That's his mindset. So he'll probably die in prison. What they'll do is every 6 months, they'll keep scheduling him another parole hearing, and he'll refuse to go. He's got no other place to go. He's got no family to go to. Prison is his retirement home. So this could drag out for a long time. I'm not saying that it won't, but it may, and that's okay too, because if we're not vindicated for the injustice that the state of Tennessee has done to us, we get to ride this UCC-1 like a red light district whore. And that's what we're doing, what Tad and I are working on. I'm sure some of y'all are savvy enough to learn what you've learned so far and understand the concept and roll off in these foreclosure hearings and actually beat it. But that's just going to be a handful of folks. A lot of people are going to need to have something solid in their hand that they can look at and say, okay, step number 1, and then follow the steps. Okay, now I got step number 1 done, I'll do step number 2. Because a lot of people are going to crack when they go into the court in front of the judge. We've all been brainwashed to think that, these people rule us and we got to do whatever they say and stuff like that. So a lot of people get in there and they think they're prepared. They think they're prepared and they're ready to go with this. And then when they actually get in there, they freeze. So something like this would be good to get your hands on and practice.
And
get in front of a mirror and practice. And we even talked about setting up like a mock foreclosure hearing.
Yeah, like a role play.
Yeah, doing a role play thing.
Yeah, so what we want to do is do role playing with people, and if they're up for it, would like to record it and use that, post that in this course, so that other people can hear what you're going through. They can hear the training, and so that they can adapt that to themselves as well. And so from time to time, we'll have member trainings. I'll figure out some way we can do that. But So you guys should join in. Chris will be there, and then we can go through your individual cases and answer questions and things like that, and then post it so everybody can hear it and learn from it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. So are you ready to take some questions?
Yeah, if there's nothing else you want to add to this.
You guys go to the website, youhavetheright.com, and join up if this is something you want to learn. And I'm going to be adding to it. I'm going to be making it better. So anyway, hit *6 on your phone if you have any questions for us. We're going to go to area code 407 right now. Your phone just unmuted.
Yeah, hello, Chris.
Yes.
Hey, man,
Hey, I've been following you on Telegram. Are you open to questions about the grant, or is this all just for the foreclosure?
Look, man, I don't know what Telegram you're talking about, because there's a bunch of them, but the grant is bullshit. Okay? The grant is the scammer. If you go on YouTube and you see my website or a YouTube channel that's claiming to be me, and they have 110,000 subscribers. Right. That's the grant scammer. And I've said this in a few videos, but you're not going to find the video that I'm saying this on the scammer's YouTube channel. He's not going to put the one on there where I'm saying, don't give anybody any money.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're on here and you asked about this, because I've had people send me emails and messages. Hey, you took $20,000 of my dollars. You took $10,000 of my dollars.
Yeah.
When am I going to get the grant? When am I going to get the grant? I'm like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. That's people that have been suckered and took. You can't get a grant through your Social Security account. That's impossible. Now you can apply for grants. There's people that sell books as big as thick as a phone book that shows you how to get all different kind of government grants. But you're not going to get a grant like that guy's talking about. I'm glad you're asking about it now.
Yeah, I'm glad this call came through.
The Telegram channel that I do use has got 6,400 members on it now. I had one guy who was admin, supposed to be controlling it for me. He wasn't letting people in. All he was doing was plugging his freaking website, and he wasn't keeping the ones that were scammers in there out. So I just went and accepted 400 new members today.
Wow. Okay.
Because
that's on YouTube?
For 2 years, this guy hadn't allowed anybody in. But I'm in there now, and I've got I got 2 folks that are administrators there that they're pretty savvy, and I let a bunch of people in. I'm going to have to weed a bunch of people out. I'm sure there's some of the people I let in are probably going to try and run scams too. I got a little more time to mess around at that channel. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, we'll
get the word out, man.
We'll send a link out to Chris's authentic YouTube channel, and if we can, the actual Telegram channel as well.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Christopher Hauser Study Group, and it's a.
All right. So, Chris,
I
you still there?
appreciate you, Chris. I really do. I appreciate you, Chris. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you.
Chris, are you still there? Chris?
All right.
Son of a gun. Oh. Let me see
Come
if I
on,
can get
Chris.
it. Yeah, hold on, you guys. Hold on.
Motherfucker screaming out people. That explains why he keeps posting it over and over again.
My phone.
Let me try again. Hold on.
Get in there first. First thing
You've reached my phone.
Okay. Gosh darn it, we lost him. All right, so I'm going to answer questions as best that I can. We're going to go to area code 507. Area code 507, go ahead.
Well, my goodness, that was fun. Chris, he's quite a guy.
Yes, when he's not being impersonated.
Yeah, I was actually on the impersonation one, and I seen all that bullshit, and it was too good to be true, so I didn't get involved. It sounded pretty damn good, so. Yeah, I was just looking at the U.S. codes. I think about the only one that would work with the UCC-1 would be 31 U.S.C. 3302B, miscellaneous receipt statute. But that's kind of what I was going to quiz him on, seeing what statutes he was trying to get them to accept the UCC money order as, a valid payment.
Court case precedent. His Tennessee Supreme Court case, because they said that they had value. Not only did they say they had value, they said they had enough value to warrant a certain prison time. So those two things together, they're saying that these UCCs have value. Okay, great. Here's my payment. There you go.
Well, now, like it says here, yes, and as it says, the judge would be an official or an agent of the government receiving money for the government from any source shall deposit the money in Treasury as soon as practical. That's 31 U.S.C. 3302. So that would fall right in line with them accepting any form of payment.
There you go.
So it's 31
for any case.
31 3302B. As long as they accept it, they can put it into Treasury. But I was just curious as to how I've been trying to do my mortgage with money, with different things, and they don't want to accept anything other than their funny money. They're just difficult to
No, I get it. And the course that we have is really designed around a court case scenario.
Okay.
Because it gives you a little more enforcement. That way you can avoid...
Have you run up against the Loan Depot or anybody like that?
Loan Depot?
Yeah, that's who I'm service contract with. The mortgage is already paid for, so all I'm fighting about is a service contract, right?
Right. Well,
the mortgage is already paid by the promisor.
Or it's for Loan Depot. I have not, but whoever is foreclosing on you, you can do this with whoever is foreclosing on you. Just take them to court. Now, when it comes to how to take the lender to court, that's beyond the scope of the course. We don't show you how to do that. You're going to have to learn that on your own. But once you get to court, you get a hearing, then you can present this to them. Let me see if I can try Chris one more time. Maybe he plugged his phone in. Hold on.
Okay.
Son of a gun. What is going on? Chris?
Well, he's out in the backwoods, so maybe he's really out there.
I'll try him one more time, and then we'll call it good. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got you back on.
All right, man.
So we just had.
Yeah, guys, there is no grant. It's a scammer. There's that grant scammer guy is putting out freaking email messages and videos on don't get scammed by the other scammers. Trying to sound real, sound like he's the original to scam people. I wish I had the money that freaking guy's got off people so far, though.
It's probably in the millions by now.
Ain't no telling. Plus, people are giving them, or him, or her, or whatever, their freaking personal information.
I know.
Look, y'all, I don't do that. Someone very close to me in this whole process sent me a picture of a bond, a $200 billion bond that is being traded. She went and looked it up, and the bond that she created is already being traded. But she had her Social Security number on it. No, you don't want to do that shit. Don't send me your Social Security number. I won't ask for it. That's a good way to find out whether you're being scammed or not.
So anyway, we had a gentleman on here who was asking about Title 31, a question in regards to the UCC. I'll have him ask again.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Chris. Good talking to you.
Hey, man, what's up? Yeah, buddy.
Well, I was trying. Well, thank you for sending me the email with your case file and all that. You did that like 6 months ago, and I read it. It was very interesting. I kept badgering you over there.
Yeah. Do you see that, though? Do you see what they're saying? They're worth money?
It's a work of art. It could be a literature.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about this UCC-1. The way I'm seeing it, 31 USC 3302B, an official or agent of the government receiving the money can deposit the money in Treasury as soon as practical. I'm just wondering where else you find authority for them to actually utilize the UCC-1 as money.
Well, you'd have to find somebody that could do that and is willing to do that. What we did is we contracted the Secretary of the United States Treasury to do it for us.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? What we did is we did a conditional acceptance. They didn't meet the terms. We created the UCC-1. Then we created contracts with the Treasury using the postal rule. The postal rule is a rule of common law contract. If you use the postal rule in the contract and create the contract, they've agreed. And that's where we're at right now. I could care less if I beat the state of Tennessee. I could care less if I get, oh, well, we're sorry, sovereign guys. Here's $7 million. I don't care about that. I don't care about that money. The real money is in the Treasury right now. For 10 years, they've owed me $132.6 million. Last time I did the interest, it was $241 million. So we need to win in the state of Tennessee to enforce the contracts that we got with the Fed. And that's
I did a 30-day conditional acceptance with Treasury. I did it with the Department of Justice. the IRS Technical Division, and Treasury. And then after 30 days, if it stands unrebutted, they actually sent me a letter back from the Department of Justice saying they reviewed it all. They said I didn't have a tort claim, but they sent me a letter acknowledging receipt from the Department of Justice.
Yeah, well, they got it.
That's so.
Yeah, they got it.
I'm just kind of
think about that. They asked you for a tort, right?
They said they couldn't help me unless I had a tort claim, but they did review all the information and they didn't deny any of it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, here's my question. Where's the tort claim?
I didn't file a tort claim.
I understand. That's what I'm getting at. All you got to do now, if they're saying we got your stuff, and hey, if you had a tort claim with it, this would be legit. You got to figure out now where's the tort claim. Can you create one?
I did. I had it within the document, a 30-day. If they did not denounce it after 30 days, I could utilize any instruments in the government, IRS instruments, UCC, anything. Then I put that within there, 30-day non-rescission. So
yeah,
I already got. I'm happy.
It's not they're saying you're missing a tort claim, though, right?
Yeah, that'll put you in prison though if you screw around with the wrong claim. That's why I didn't send one in. Pretty touchy subject there at the Department of Justice.
Yeah. Well, do you have a tort now? Because of the contract?
No, I actually have just what you said. I already got the claim in. I'm good.
You got a contract. You got a you got a contract.
Yeah, that's all I was
that may be a tort claim now. Turn around and use that contract as a tort claim and file another one with it. You want a tort claim? Here you go. You guys didn't honor this contract. You accepted it. You receipted it. Does that make any kind of sense? I'm trying to figure out where to go. When I get a letter from the government, I look at what they're saying, and I use 9 times out of 10 you can use their language against them. We're doing the same thing. All right, let me give you an example. We did our brief to the appeals court, and then right after that we submitted a judicial notice, a motion to take judicial notice. The things that we mentioned in the judicial notice, like the Constitution, the contract, our contract that we had that gave us the legal basis, their oaths of office and their bonds, the Tennessee Supreme Court or the Tennessee Constitution that says the people have the right to exercise sovereignty, Tennessee Code that says the sovereign can't be sued, case law that says the sovereign can't be sued, right? We put that all in the motion to take judicial notice. The letter we got back after doing that was we received, like in your case, we received this motion to take judicial notice, and we accepted. But you won't be able to address it in your oral argument because it's not in your brief. So we took that right there as them saying, they were saying one of two things when they were saying that. We accept it because we have to. Tennessee law says they have to accept a judicial notice, a motion to take judicial notice. But they're saying you can't argue it in an oral argument because it's not in your brief. So what are they saying? Either we're going to tell you this and we accept it, and we're going to hope that you're too dumb to realize what it is we're doing, or we think you're smart enough to figure out what we're doing, right? So that's what we did. We made an amendment. We added those issues that are on the motion to take judicial notice into this brief, So now when I go into this hearing, I get to talk about, they said that we accept the contract. We accepted in the original case, in the original docket, that you had contracts in there. And those contracts is what gave you the authority or the legal basis to do what you did, even though you don't need legal basis to lien somebody. But you can't talk about it. Okay, now we amend it so we can talk about it. That's what I'm trying. That's the point that I'm trying to make with you, bro. They gave you step one. Now can you do step two? You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. You got to find an avenue to exercise it through. That's what I'm working on now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're using the UCC-1, and it sounds great, but I'm just trying to figure out where in the hell to utilize it at. That's kind of where I'm at.
Well, with the UCC-1, y'all, you can take them. You can take them to the debt or the credit window, and that's designed. Well, it says that only small businesses or institutions or something like that. I can't remember that actual verbiage.
Financial institutions.
Can use that small financial institutions get to use that. Well, you are a small financial institution. You're the representative. You're the authorized representative of your trust. And the trust is, I don't know if you could even consider it small, because a lot of them are huge, especially with this old guy. You know what I mean?
Well, they're borrowing from us. I'd say we're really rich. They're always borrowing from us.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got other people that are in the line waiting.
You're on the right track. When you can get the feds doing stuff like that, we received this. You know what I mean?
Could I tell you this real quick? It's a requested actions is what I sent up there. I looked it up. I found out. If Treasury, DOJ, or IRS fail to formally acknowledge process this proposal within 30 days of confirmation, this was April 21st, then I'm authorized to utilize any and all instruments, Treasury, all of them. So anyway, that's just what I've done. I don't know. I'm doing something different, but I appreciate your time.
Send the Treasury some of your bills and have them pay it.
Well, I'm kind of doing that now. I'm working on taxes up, so I'm just kind of riding that one out. So I'm just waiting on
taxes. The thing about taxes, y'all, is if you're the beneficiary, they're claiming that you're not, and they're claiming that you owe taxes. You don't owe taxes. The trust does. You're not even responsible. You're not even supposed to know taxes are due. Someone in the IRS is supposed to take the money from your trust and pay it if they deem that you owe or your trust owes taxes. So that's why I don't play with taxes, y'all. I know.
I agree with you, but I got a bad trustee. They're not handling my business.
That's what you got to do. You got to figure out who that trustee is. Let them call you and say, "Hey, you owe taxes." Okay, well, I'm the beneficiary. I'm not even supposed to know taxes are due, so I can only assume that you're contacting me, so that me and you can work together, figure out which one of those IRS agents down there isn't paying the taxes that are due, fire them and replace them with someone that will. That's how you got to handle these freaking clowns, man.
Thank you, Chris, for putting up with
That's
me,
the
and
way I
I'm
did.
sure Tad wants to bring somebody else in, but I appreciate your
buddy.
time. Good
man.
talking
Have
to
a
you.
good night.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Okay. 940 area code. Go ahead.
Hello, Chris. I'm Tatiana again. My question is, can the UCC only be filed in Tennessee in order for this to work?
No, because we are United States. If you ever notice, if you watch Law and Order, right? That's supposed to be happening in whatever city, New York City or whatever. You'll hear them quote cases from other states, right?
Yep.
Have you ever noticed that?
Yes, sir.
It's better to quote cases that are in the state you're arguing in, but they don't do that. And they'll quote cases from the Supreme Court all the time. Well, wait a minute. Why so this is a state issue that these people are being charged of crime with, and we're quoting all this case law from different states. No, it's called the Universal Commercial Code for a reason.
Okay.
It's universal. You can file UCC-1s in Germany and use the Tennessee Supreme Court ruling, because the UCC, all banks since the 1970s, I think it was early 70s, all banks and courts have fallen underneath the UCC, and that's not just in the United States. That's all over the place, all over the world.
So the UCC one that I filed for my house that I did for $1 million, is that the reason why they still haven't sold it? Because it's been on the market for a couple of months now. So can I go with that UCC one to court and claim my money, or tell them to give me back my house?
You can, or what you can do, and basically in a nutshell, and that's what youhavetheright.com and I'm doing right now. We're trying to show you all how to go in there. You can keep your own UCC-1 you file for $1 million and go in there and say, look, if you're claiming that I owe you money, create a UCC-1, use the Tennessee Supreme Court ruling, monetize the UCC-1, and take it to the Federal Reserve Bank. Take it to the pay window. If you say, look, here's a way that you can settle this debt. I'm telling you, you can settle it. I'm okaying it as the beneficiary. I'm okaying this process, even though the mortgage company didn't loan you any money. They didn't loan you any money. The original lender acted as your trustee to loan you your own money. Even though all of that happens, you can go in there and say, look, I'm not here to argue whether or not you loan me real money. I'm here to tell you that if you claim I owe you or my trust owes you X amount of dollars for this property, why are you telling me I am the beneficiary? Create a UCC-1 and go get freaking paid. This is simple, y'all. It's crazy.
It's that simple. Okay. I love it. Okay. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Thank you.
Have a blessed night.
Okay. Our final question. Oh, this phone. I'm sorry, you guys.
My phone's not doing well either.
Can you hear me?
407 area code. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, Chris. I've been trying to email you on several questions back and forth. I know you're very busy and difficult. And I had one question. I'm the one I had a judgment. I won a judgment in federal court, and I wanted to do a 1099-A on that and see. And then we talked about, either the federal discount window or actually just file it with the U.S. Treasury. Now, the only thing, I kept doing some additional research, and regarding the Treasury, there were several different locations that actually disperse funds. Like there's a KC office, there's also one out of Alabama, and then, of course, there's one in D.C. that actually sends out disbursements or payments. Because I was going to do the process and basically endorse the UCC-1 and the court judgment, the abstracted judgment, and just send it saying, listen, here, I want to convert this into notes under 12 U.S.C., 411 or 412, in exchange for it. Please handle this. But I'm not exactly sure which place in the U.S. Treasury, because I found several places to do it.
Okay, here's what I would do. Send it to the Treasury, right? You're going to send it to the Treasury. Do a contract with the Treasury, okay? Set it in a contract. Say, here's this judgment, this money I got, right? And here's the UCC-1. They're yours. Collect this, and you get 25%.
Okay. Well, I have a trust relationship with the Treasury, not a contract relationship.
Well, you would if you had a contract.
Yeah, no, but the trust is the contract. The trust is the contract. And that actually involves equity. You see, the thing is,
if you want the Treasury to collect for you, right? You're gonna create a contract. That's what we did, because when we did it, we said, here, man, we know that you use the IRS as your collection agency,
right?
Treasury, Jacob Blue. It was at the time it was Jacob Blue, the Secretary of the United States Treasury. We know that you use the IRS as your collection agency. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you 100% of these lien securities, and we're gracious. We know that normally you collect 27% as taxes. Right, when you collect like this. Well, we're going to give you 35. We'll give you 35%. You collect this for me, and you get 35%. And then you're not going to. If you did it like on, say, $100 million, they would give you $75 million or 65. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's that process you do with the bond and everything else, right? That's a different process.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do that with if you want to use the Treasury to collect for you, make them a contract. Say, look, if you collect this, you get to keep X amount of it.
Yeah, and actually, that's actually in my trust document too. It says for anything that needs to be extinguished, here you get 35%.
So, do you know anybody that's been successful at that actually collected?
The thing is, it's your and see, you could tell them in the contract, well, I'm aware that there's 3 different places, 3 different Federal Reserve banks that disperse these funds. But, I don't know which ones they are. So here you go. I'm sure Secretary of the Treasury, which one does. Collect this for me and disperse it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I've done that too, and I don't know anybody that got paid on that.
That's the thing, though. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's not so much. Okay, say you get paid, cool. The contract's complete. All obligations have been met. What if they don't? If they don't, they owe you the money. And they can't say they don't owe you
you're
the
basically,
money. You got a contract.
and go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
They're basically your debt collector, your judgment collector, whatever that is. You're just saying, here, you're going to get a percentage of this. Just pay me off, and actually just fund it in credits, because everything's based on credits too. One thing that I do also on all my paperwork, I put an indemnity disclaimer at the bottom. Should any document or exhibit, et cetera, should unintentionally violate any international U.S. or state law, then the disclaimer, void if prohibited by law, is forever attached. So this way it indemnifies myself in the event they ever come back. And like what you were saying before, as far as the different courts, and maybe this will help that girl that you were talking to, and you are correct, when you cite to the jurisdiction that you're in, it's typically the precedent jurisdiction, where the other, anything outside of that is persuasive jurisdiction. And yes, the courts use it all the time. They do that all the time, but you can cite to it, and especially if there's no precedented case in that jurisdiction on that particular topic. Like I'm doing that right now. I'm involved in a case in PA involving my mother's estate, which was a mess because the state of Florida screwed up so bad, and I had to go the whole way through from the county court to the appellate court to the Supreme Court up to the federal court. Now I'm back into the state court. But there was an interesting thing that they were trying to do on a W-9 form that they made my mother sign on surrendering annuity. The problem is that there's no law there's no Pennsylvania insurance law that says you must file a W-9 in order to surrender a policy. Plus, if a W-9 does not have an OMB number on it, it's invalid. They can't enforce it. It must have a specific...
They had no OMB number on it?
It does not. Well, I don't know, because the thing is, the insurer, when I went to sue them, they wouldn't produce it in evidence after filing a motion to produce, which was basically concealment, which adds to my argument to the tolling of time.
Withholding exculpatory evidence. Yeah.
Exactly. They withheld it. They only gave me a partial form, which that goes to my defense as far as saying, well, the thing was, even though I filed pro se, however, equitable tolling does apply, showing that I never slumbered on my rights and I kept going for judicial remedy. However, this court screwed up. They didn't do a conflict of analysis between the two states, which definitely Pennsylvania had the superior claim. Thus, but they just basically denied it. And then when I went to the appeals court, all they did was PCA it without an opinion. And then when I filed my writ of certiorari, they said we don't have jurisdiction because the second DCA didn't file an opinion. And I went to the federal court in Erie, Pennsylvania, and they said, well, we don't have jurisdiction because we don't handle estates. Mm-hmm. Right, but it all goes to equitable tolling.
Yeah,
I think this is getting beyond the scope of tonight's call.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay.
It sure is, man.
It's great. Long story short, I just submitted a non-adversarial declaratory judgment against 3 parties, and unfortunately, they don't have any electronic filing because it's such a small town. I had to mail them up 181 pages. which had my declaratory judgment, exhibits, 2 motions, and 5 subpoenas.
All right. Well, thanks for coming.
All right.
We gotta move.
All right. I'll talk to you.
Let us know how that works out, man. Let us know how that works out, man.
All right. 480 area code. Go ahead.
All right, Chris. This is Lanny Talbot. I've been with you guys for a long, long time, and back in 2012, I had to go to court. They were trying to take my house, and my premise was they never loaned me the money. And it went along. It was a hearing, but not really a official hearing. But anyway, the judge, I asked for I wanted a real signature on the document that I filled out for the bank. They couldn't produce it. And finally, when it comes down to the end, the judge says, well, a copy will do. And he gave him my house. So, but talking to the attorney later, he said, you were doing really, really good there on that premise, but the judge didn't care.
Yeah, they don't. They do whatever they want to do. They're corrupt.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, man. It's what's happening. You know, that's why I stopped even trying to predict what's going to happen with ours, because every time I think we're going to get some kind of right rule, let's forget about that. You know, it's a shame. It really is, and maybe just maybe. I don't know. I got a friend who is really heavy into Nasara Jasara. He's got dinar and all that shit. He's really convinced that the reason they're dicking around with us and taking so long with us is because of Nasara. These judges are just now finding all this stuff out, and they're actually slowing down cases because they all have to be retrained according to this Nasara. They all have to be retrained to be constitutional judges again. They have to. I would love to see it happen, but I don't put a whole lot of faith in it. Sounds good. Looks good on paper.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Right, Lanny, is that
I'll believe it when I see it.
That's all I had, is just that they can't prove that they loaned you money. That's the whole deal.
No, they don't. They didn't loan you money. They loaned you trust credits.
That's right.
That's what they do. It's not, and they don't even really loan. They don't give it to you. If I was going to borrow money from the bank, if I went down and I said, okay, Mr. Bank President guy, I want to borrow $10,000. Well, he would give me $10,000 if he loaned me $10,000, right? He'd put $10,000 in my hand. But that's not what happens when it comes to financing automobiles and houses and stuff like that. You didn't get the money in your hand, did you?
That's right.
They don't put the money in you. How did you loan me money when you never put $1 in my hand? That's where this whole scam is gone. They're not how did you loan me money? And you sure weren't loaned the money by a mortgage company. And that's what he was saying. He said, show me a contract with my wet signature on it. They couldn't find one. They're not going to find it. They're not, actually, they probably could if they wanted to, but they're not going to, because that contract, like your birth certificate, is and your Social Security account and everything, it's being traded. If you could get your birth certificate back, the original, you'd probably see a bunch of stamps on the back from different countries where they're trading our birth certificates around the world. They're bonds. And that's what's happened. Nobody ever loaned you money for your house. They never said, okay, Mr. Hauser, I'm saying my dad, here, you want to buy this $500,000 home, give us, okay, I'll put $150,000 down. Okay, here's cash, $350,000 cash, Mr. Hauser. Now go and buy your house. My dad never seen the money. He never seen it.
Right.
And they can't prove that he ever seen it. Yeah.
It's all an accounting trick. All right.
Yeah,
so,
and they like to do that. They like to do that. The banking, the fractional banking. You ought to see. Yeah, if you guys, it's boring as hell. I read it when I was in prison. It was boring as hell. Prison's a good place to read boring stuff. But when you see what they're actually doing, it's crazy. Somebody needs to be hung for that stuff.
All right, Lanny. Thanks for calling.
All right. Thanks. Good night, Chris.
Have a good night, brother.
Okay, so Chris, final question. I should have asked you this in the start of the call. What successes have you had with people using the UCC-1 to pay off their homes in court?
I've coached 7 people so far who have gone and got their titles. I've coached a few more who are still in the process, but everyone so far that's completed the administrative process in these tribunals, actually they're just administrative hearings, have gotten their deeds to their houses. So it's 100% so far, those that have completed it. And Tad, really all I'm doing is making sure that when you go in there, you're going to know how to ask questions that you already know how they're going to answer. And they might throw a curveball in here. You got to be you got to be light on your feet, man. You got to answer them quick. But the beauty of it is, if you can't ask for continuance, they're going to do it a bunch of times themselves. How many people you know out here has been in foreclosure for 10 years? 7 years. You know, I told my wife, man, I said, honey, if you want to stop paying for this house right here, we can let this go into foreclosure and we can live here rent-free for the next, 7 to 12 years. And just keep our money. Because there's ways of slowing the whole process down.
Right.
But why do that when you can go in there zippity-doo-dah? Hey, I got 3 questions I need to ask you. And then ask more questions by the way they answer the 3 you got. And that's all it is, Tad. If you're prepared when you go in there, you're going to hear them shutting you're going to hear nothing but crickets on a lot of things. They're not going to say anything. They're going to get to the point where there's nothing they can say without spilling the beans. Oh, yeah, Mr. Hauser, you're right. You're right. No one's ever loaned your dad any money. They're not going to say that shit. They're going to be totally quiet. And then that's when you throw in stuff like, I guess you're acquiescing to my question, right? You know what I mean? It's acquiescence, bro. I understand that word. I was calling, the 2 times I've been in, I've called the administrator dude. Look at here, dude. Why not, man? And see, that's the kind of stuff that'll make you real comfortable about, I'm not going to get nervous and stumble over words or not be able to answer questions smartly because I'm in here calling the freaking judge dude.
Right.
Listen here, man. No, it don't work like that, bro. You know what I mean? It's been fun so far. I'm close. I think I'm close to. I had last time I was in there on this Zoom call. I had the administrator reading the Supreme Court ruling and going, "This is interesting." I said, yeah, it's about to change the face of banking as you know it. And yeah, I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting for it to be over. And it's going to take some time.
Right.
You're probably not going to go in there the very first time, the very first hearing date, and turn around and walk out with the title in your hand. You're probably not going to. You got to go in there, set them up to answer these questions. Most of them are not going to be they're not going to be familiar with the answer. You know, first thing I did was, what jurisdiction are you? What jurisdiction is this? What do you mean? You mean to tell me you're a judge? You don't know what jurisdiction means? You're going to tell me, what do you mean?
The state of Tennessee.
You know. Well, see, they won't, though. You see it all the time on YouTube and TikTok. And going in there asking these judges, what jurisdiction is this? And they'll say, well, it's statutory jurisdiction. You'll hear that a lot. Well, it's under the county. It's they never say what the jurisdiction is. The actual jurisdiction, if they're going to say it, they're going to say it's Admiralty Maritime. It's Admiralty Maritime jurisdiction. This is Commerce. Commerce is Admiralty Maritime jurisdiction. How do you know it's commerce? Because every crime is a commercial crime.
Right.
But they're not going to say that. They're not going to say, "Oh, this is a court of common law," or "This is a court of equity." They're not going to say that shit. What's the jurisdiction? Oh, it's Will County. Will County? Okay, cool. Next time I come in here, I'm like, here's Will County's DUNS number. You're Mayor freaking McCheeseburger up there trying to tell me you're going to take my dad's estate. You know what I mean? Yeah, believe me, you will be a lot more comfortable when you're looking up at that judge and picturing him with a hamburger head. Because you're in McDonald's. You're in McDonald's court.
All right, so I think that's going to do it for this evening, Chris. Appreciate you being here. You guys, again, we do have this course at the website. We're going to be adding more to it as things develop. So please go to youhavetheright.com, join up. If you know other people, have them join up, and we will provide group coachings at some point soon for people that need it, and to help people.
We'll do some role play. We'll do some role play stuff. We'll work with you so you're comfortable enough to go in there and do this. Look, y'all, I want to see you win.
Yes.
Because the more this wins, the more we win with this stuff, the more people are going to wake up. And believe me, what we're doing right now is just foreclosure. But the facets of this gem called the UCC-1 having, an ascertainable value, ain't no telling. You got cars. You're either trying to repossess your car, or you want to buy a car. I'm talking with a guy right now who has a dealership. I'm trying to get him convinced that, look, you can sell anybody a car, contract with anybody. Give them a car, and within a couple of weeks, have the money for it. And never have to freaking go repossess their shit or hound them, why ain't you paid your bill this month? This concept or philosophy or whatever you want to call it has very different angles to it. If you can dream it, you can do it, knowing what it's about. But y'all have a great night.
All right, Chris, hang on. All right, you guys, thank you very much. Good night, everybody.